With Langley in service and the two Lexington-class battlecruisers in conversion to fleet carriers, the United States Navy wanted to design a carrier from the keel up. Its design was closer in size to Langley than Lexington, and due to the Washington Naval Treaty, she was made as light as possible, while carrying a decent-size air group. Ordered in November 1930, laid down the next year and launched in 1933, the ship, named Ranger, came to service, commissioned in June of 1934. Originally designed without an island, shortly after completion, a rather small island was placed on the starboard side halfway across the length of the ship. Funnels were placed on both starboard and port side at the rear, with 3 on each side. Her weight was 14,810 tons at standard displacement. Length was at 222.5 meters, beam at 24.4 meters and draft at 6.8 meters. 6 boilers created 53,500 shaft horsepower. Propulsion was provided by 2 steam turbines, connected to 2 shafts, giving her the speed of just over 29 knots. Armament consisted of 8 single 5-inch guns as well as 40 50 caliber machine guns. One large hangar had 3 elevators, and 3 catapults were added. She basically had no armor to save on weight for future ships. To save on weight, hangar usage and aircraft weight, she was originally designed to not operate torpedo bombers, so only fighters and dive bombers would be her air group. But in 1941, a plan was made for torpedo stowage. Torpedo Squadron 4 would join Ranger in January 1942. Anti-aircraft guns would be replaced and added, mostly during World War II. Some old 3-inch guns were replaced with the 1.1-inch anti-aircraft guns, but in March 1942, the 50 caliber machine guns were replaced with the superior 20mm Oerlikon cannons. 46 of them were placed on the ship. In December that same year, the 1.1-inch guns were replaced with 40mm Bofors guns. In December of 1943, she was approved for an extensive modernization. As aircraft were getting heavier, her flight deck supports were no longer capable of supporting a full modern air group. The aft elevator was enlarged, the amidship elevator was replaced with a deck edge elevator and 2 flight deck catapults were added. Weight and protection issues were solved by blistering the hull. Armament was increased with 6 quadruple 40mm Bofors guns. She would conduct flight operations in the interwar period. During World War II, however, she was kept in the Atlantic, and during March of 1942, she would be sent to Norfolk for repairs and the addition of radar. She was loaded with P-40 aircraft in April, and in May, she launched them to land in Ghana. She would do another transport operation in July. In November, she would support the landings in Vichy-ruled French Morocco in Operation Torch. Her fighters attacked airfields at Rabat and Rabat Sale. Some of her aircraft also strafed 4 French destroyers. Dive bombers would attack the battleship Jean Bart. After some repairs to the French battleship, 2 more bombs landed on the vessel, and she later sank. Multiple other ships were attacked and damaged by Ranger's dive bombers. Light tanks and military transport vehicles were attacked and destroyed. She would conduct another ferry operation the next year, and in April 1943, a radio announced that a German submarine sank Ranger. Commander Otto von Bülow of the U-boat 404 was decorated by Adolf Hitler with oak leaves to the Knight's Cross medal. But German command didn't know that Ranger was still afloat and not sunk. The United States Navy addressed the announcement made by the Germans, disclaiming their reports. Ranger departed Scapa Flow with the home fleet in October and launched 2 attacks on German merchant ships in Norway. In January 1944, she became a training carrier, and in April, she was loaded with P-38 Lightning aircraft to transport to Casablanca. She steamed through Panama Canal and conducted night carrier flight training operations near Hawaii. After the war, Ranger was relieved from training career by the USS Saipan. She was decommissioned in October 1946 and was sold for scrap in the end of January 1947. She was awarded 2 service stars and some ribbons,